Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. Where shall we start? What did I ask you to do? Homework?
Only reading.
Course book?
Yes.
Course book.
Page number 10 and 11.
Page number?
10 and 11.
Ah, yes. Reading, right? First of all, in discursive, in descriptive writing, past participle is used. It means had plus verb 3. So I will let you read the theory first. Later, I will explain. And look at the first paragraph. You have already learned in global book 2, but I would like to review it. What's that? Either would you like to read past participles?
A regular past participle and in ed is a verb, however strong. Irregular verb in English have irregular past.
Wait, either are you reading page 10?
Yes.
I cannot hear clearly. So anyway, either I'll read again.
Key point, right?
Key point, yeah, past participle. Yeah, read.
A regular past participle and in ed is a verb, however strong. Irregular verb in English have irregular past participle, just as they also have irregular past simple form. Example: bring, bought, sing, sang, sang. Sometimes the form is the same for the past simple and the past participle. These have to be learned, which is not difficult as they are the most commonly, right?
Commonly used verbs.
Commonly used verbs some have
Optional form.
One older and one more recent is a burn, bun, leap. They may not be pronounced the way they are slept. Example: read,
Read, read. Okay, so wait. Past participle and in ed like worked, or sometimes irregular. There may be different, like bring, brought. So brought is past participle. Sing, sung, sung, sung. Bunt or bunt, leaped or left, they both are correct. For read, you have to pronounce read, read. Okay, how about the second part? Read.
We use the present perfect for the recent action or when with no time specific or in play, or one which is not yet completed. For example, I have looked for it everywhere, but I haven't found it yet. The time of yet. Just or since are often used with the present perfect. The past participle with had instead of had. It also used for from the past perfect tense. This can refer to action would happen further back in the past than the past simple or to the order in which event happened in the past. For example, I have arrived home before I remember that I had left my bag at school.
Okay. When you learn past participle, you must know about the present perfect. Present perfect, underline. Present perfect means has, have plus verb 3. And recent action, underline recent action, one with no time specified or implied. Underline one with no time specified or implied. Has, have plus verb 3, present perfect, is in recent action and also one with no time specified or implied, and one which is not yet completed. Underline one which is not yet completed. Isabella, I have looked for it everywhere, but I haven't found it yet. So in this case, you one which is not yet completed, then you can use present perfect, and you can use yet, just, or since. Underline yet, just, or since. And but the past participle is had. Had instead of have. Yeah. The past perfect. The tense refers to the actions which happened farther back in the past than the past simple, to the order in which events happened in the past. I had arrived home before I remembered that I had left my bag at school. Look at that sentence. Test raising, which action is earlier? Had arrived
Recording in progress.
or remembered?
I have arrived.
Yes, you are correct. Had arrived is earlier. Past perfect is used with past tense. You could see that had arrived and remembered. Whenever you use past perfect, there must be past tense. And you must compare which action is earlier. So in this case, the earlier action is had arrived, and the second one is remembered. And I remembered that I had left my bag at school. Again, touch within. Remembered and had left. Which action is earlier?
Left my bag.
Had left my bag is the earlier action, right? So these two actions happen in the past, but had plus verb 3 is a bit earlier than past. Okay. Now, I want to summarize these two tenses, present perfect and past perfect. In descriptive writing, you are supposed to use past participle. So wait, and present perfect. Present perfect has have plus verb 3. You are given like you know, if you could not see the exact time expression or the exact time expression is not mentioned, and also one which is not yet completed, no specific time is given, or recent action. You can use has, have plus verb 3. Present perfect is related to present. Past perfect is different. Past perfect had plus verb 3 only. Had plus verb 3. So whenever you use past perfect, there must be past tense. Two actions happened in the past, and two actions happened in the past, and verb to end had plus verb 3. Had plus verb 3 is quite earlier than past. First action. So I will write like this. This is the second action. This is the second action. Had plus verb 3 is the first action. That's all. It is explained a lot. Okay, now I will go to the task. Text 1E. I hope you have read it, but I will let you read it again. Read myth, the gift of fire. Okay, I will give you some time to read. To those who read it, you could understand more. So I will give you some time. Please read the first reading test.
Ê, chúng ta có làm nào không giận à? Ôi, cái chúng tôi là đây là
Then I'm you start reading.
Greek myth, the gift of fire. Prometheus was a titan, one of the old gods. His father, how to pronounce the name?
Earpitus.
Earpitus led a revolt against the chief of the new race of gods.
Wait,
From
revolt.
revolt,
What does it mean?
rebellion.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Prometheus felt sorry for newly created humans who had to live on the cold earth and wanted to give fire to them. Thus forbade this and guarded the entrance to Olympus, the mountain home of the gods, so that Prometheus could not see it. But the goddess Athena told him of a black entrance. So Prometheus was able to see fire and smuggle it to humans. Thus was very angry that Prometheus had disobeyed him. So he ordered the Prometheus be changed to a frog. Every day a great eagle would come to Prometheus and eat his liver, leaving only at nightfall when the liver would begin to grow back once more. At daybreak, the eagle would return to the changed Prometheus and again attack its liver. The daily ritual would be repeated forever.
Okay. How about forbade? Forbade. Later, what is the meaning of forbade?
Prevent.
Sorry, say louder.
Prevent.
Prevented, yeah. And next one, 碎装 smuggle. Roundabout in the middle.
Move goods illegally.
Mm-hmm. And the rest are easy, right? You could understand. Wait, I will choose one student to tell the summary of the story, right? Amelia, are you ready? Can you summarize this story? How about Sume? Sume, would you like to? Yeah, that one, the first one.
Yes. For me. Prometheus was a titan who first created the human beings. But after he created these beings, he was they can he was the. Can I tell them? Can I tell them?
What are you saying? Can you say it louder?
So do I have to tell the summary of this?
Yes, Greek myth. I let you retell the story in your own words.
Okay, so Prometheus was a titan who created the human beings. When he looked at the world, he saw that the human beings were very poor and the earth was really cold. So
he decided to tell CS to give fire, but CS didn't agree. Didn't agree. At that time, the god Nathan tell him how to see the fire, and he can finally did it. At that time, Zia was furious that Prometheus didn't follow his rule, so he gave him a punishment. The punishment is that Prometheus, the eagle will eat the Prometheus liver on a daylight, and at night its liver will grow back, and then it will happen repeatedly forever.
Mhm. It is about the past, right? And I would like to point out the grammar point. I would like to point out the grammar rules that you learned here. Would begin, would come, would return, this story happened already, all right? Every day a great eagle would come to Prometheus. So in this case, Eng Tr Ohnmar, did it happen only once or more than one time?
More than one time.
Yeah,
Repeatedly.
it is it happened repeatedly, right? So we could use would come. All right. And next one, the liver will begin to grow back once more. So it also happened repeatedly. How about at daybreak? The eagle would return to the chained Prometheus. So in this case, would return is also the repeated action. So you could learn how to use would plus infinitive verb here. All right. For the repeated past action, you can use would plus infinitive verb. You learn it already. I just review it. You know how to use it. So let's wait. In this myth, gods and I want to ask someone like Dilita, how do you understand by myth?
Like they are traditional story.
Quite brief. Could you please make it detailed?
Like it's about like the early histories of people.
Early history. And
Yeah.
you know, fundamental aspects of life like water, fire, light, they were, yeah, such kind of things were created in the myth. And also, you know, they can form the basics of a religion. So it is about myth. Okay, let's continue the second one. Cherokee myth, the first fire. Kevin, sorry. Please read first. Everybody read. Everybody, I want you to copy this one so that you can understand more. Myth concerns supernatural characters or events. I have given you examples like God, about God, talking animals. In general, animals cannot talk, but in myths, animals can talk. So talking animals, the creation of lights and fire. Yeah, the previous one. Okay. Have you read the second one? That's one. Could you please read the first paragraph? We will discuss paragraph by paragraph. That's one. Could you please read the first one?
Every animal that could fly or swim was
Anxious to go.
anxious to go and collect fire from the hollow
Sycamore tree.
sycamore tree on an island. The ribbon
Island. Island.
Island, the ribbon who was very confident was sent first. He flew high and far across the water and alighted on the tree. While he was wondering what to do next,
The heat scorched.
the heat caused all his feathers black as they are to this day. He was scared and went back without the fire.
Hmm. It is understandable. The thing is here, far across the water and alighted on the tree. What is alighted? Hmm? What is the meaning of alighted? Alighted? Hey, who can say? Anyone who wants to say?
Descent from the air.
Yes. Another word is got down, to make it simple. Your answer is correct, Gabby. Okay, and how about scorched? How about scorched? Who can say?
Shell.
Burnt. B-U-R-N-T, burnt. Okay, go to the second one. This time, Tashwizin, go on reading. The screech owl.
The screech out volunteered to go next and reach the place safely. While he was looking down into the holy tree, a blast of hot air came at and nearly burnt out his eyes. He just managed to fly home, but it was a long time before he could see where, and there his eyes are red to this day.
Wait, screeching sound. The screech owl. You know, the sound that owls can make. And that paragraph. Oh, yeah. Another remarkable place is a blast of hot air. For air, we can say a blast of hot air. Okay, next paragraph. Faria, go on reading. No more of the birds.
No more of the birds would venture, and so the razor snake said he would go through the water and bring back the fire. He swam across to the island and crawled through the grass to the tree and entered it through a small hole at the bottom. The heat and the smoke were too much for him too, and his body was charred black, as it still is to this day.
Yeah, I think all are understandable, only charred. Charred black. What does it mean? Charred.
Still like got painted or something.
Yeah, and but here blackened. His body was blackened. And the last part, Kevin, would you like to say? The animals helped another council.
The animal had another council because there was stay no fire and the war was cold. Bad birds, snakes, and four-footed animals all had some excuses for not going because they were all afraid of the bunny's stigma.
More.
Until
At last,
the
water
water
spider.
spider said she would go, but the question was, how could you bring back the fire? Water spider said, I will manage. She crossed over the
To
islands
the
and
island.
islands and through the
Through the grass.
grass through the grass to the fiery tree. She put one small burning coal into a bowl
bowl.
attached to her bag with her own tree and returned with it. And ever since we have had fire.
Mm. Fiery tree. How do you understand my fiery? Fiery. You learn it already?
Bang strongly.
Bunny tree, right? Yes. Okay. So you have already read the story briefly. I just want to point out that new words to learn. Delita, could you please summarize this story?
Oh yeah, like every animal in the forest wanted to get fires, and yeah, animal that could fly or swing was eager to go and collect the fire from the hollow sycamore tree on the island, like because it is so like it will burn their feathers or like their skins, and yeah, so nobody wanted to get the fire, go and bring the fire, but the raven tried, and like he flew to that islands, and he trying to bring back the fire, but like the problem is that the fires was like the fire burned his all feathers, and like that's why the ravens are still black today. And like the eyes also gave a try, and he also like flew that islands and like landed and like reached that place safely, but like it's also like when he looked out the like hollow tree, like the fires, how should I say, like the hot air came up and nearly bent out of his eye. So that's why his eyes are still red to this day. And like so like due to this situation, nobody wanted to give a try again. So yeah, but like the razor snake gave a try, and like he promised to bring back the fires. And so he across the islands and across the grass, and like when he entered the small hole at the bottom, like as we have already know, like the tree is fiery, so like it's burned his skins and his body turns black. So there's sorry, like his body is colored black to this day. So like the animals held another council to like discuss who gonna give a try to bring better fires. And so nobody wanted to give a try due to like seeing that how should I say, like the burning earlier, but like the water spider said that like she would go and bring better fire for everyone, like. And like everybody asked her like how could you bring back the fire, and like she answered like I will manage. And like she across the islands and throw the grass to fiery tree, and like, she put small burning coal into the boat attached to her back with her own threads. And like she finally returned with fires and everything, like we have had fire.
Okay. So this is another myth. All right. And 11, everybody go to 11. We have discussed the definition of a myth. Did you copy? You know, it's quite confusing, so I just make it simple. A myth concerns supernatural events and characters like gods, talking animals, and the creation of fire, lights. They are called myths. Okay, so I need to discuss legend. So Yutong, how do you understand by legend?
I think they are a real person in history.
Yeah, close. Actually, you know, some students cannot distinguish myth and a legend. So explanation is quite long, but to make it simple, you can note down for legend. I will give you the example. I hope most students have already know the history of some heroes. Some heroes like Nyao Upi, I don't remember the names of the. There are 4 heroes in Bagan. Do you remember? Do you remember the names of the heroes?
One is
Nyao-
Jessica, I think.
Yeah. And Nyao Upi, Ngalong Lape, blah blah blah, right? And we, according to the history, you know, they could do some surprising tasks. I'm not sure it is true or not, but is it a legend or a myth? Is it a
I think
legend
it's
or a
more
myth?
like a legend.
Legend, because it is a heroic deed, right? And it is something concerned with historical figure. So it is sort of legend. Can you distinguish the difference between legend and myth? It is about the heroes. When we had their stories, you know, it was quite inspirational. So it is called a legend. It is called a legend. Just note down the keywords like a heroic deed by a historical figure. That is legend. For the myth, supernatural events. You know, animals cannot talk, but in the myths, animals can talk. Supernatural events, like for example, like unicorns, dragons. We are not sure that they existed or not, right? That about the animals. It is a myth. That's all to discuss. And concerning grammar point, I want to discuss D. Let's go to D, this one. Underline the subordinate clauses. In writing, instead of describing the facts briefly, separately, you need to link the ideas so that it will be more interesting. Wait, I will let someone read. Aljaman, could you please read? On a copy of text 1F.
On a copy of text 1F, underline the subordinate clauses in the complex sentences, i.e. those which have a finite verb form but are dependent on the main clause of the sentence. Example, because they were all afraid of the burning sycamore.
Subordinate clauses. So subordinate clauses can be seen in complex sentences. You know, some people, they like simple sentences, subject plus verb, but you could not get high score. You could not get high score. You need to construct the sentences in different ways, especially, you know, in IG level, complex sentences, compound sentences should be used, right? So in complex sentences, you will have to definitely use subordinate clauses. So you can ask me what subordinate clauses are. So here, subordinate clauses have a finite verb. So it has a verb. And then but dependent on the main clause. It means that it is not meaningful alone. It is not meaningful. All right. It has to depend on the other clause. For example, yeah, you are given the example. Because they were all afraid of the burning sycamore. So here, is it meaningful? Is it meaningful? It starts with because. Kevin, is it meaningful? Hello? Suito, is it meaningful? Like, because they were all afraid of the burning sycamore. Is it meaningful? Hello, can you hear me? I would like to make it sure. Is it meaningful? My question is simple. Huh? I can't hear you clearly. Hello? Tashwizin, because they were all afraid of the burning sycamore. Is it meaningful? Is it a complete thought? If there is no other clause, is it meaningful?
No.
No, it's not meaningful. It must depend on the other clause. There must be other clause. If there is no other clause, if there is no main clause, it cannot be meaningful, right? It is not a complete thought. So that is called subordinate clause. So subordinate clauses should be put in writing, especially in this this unit. The main focus is about descriptive accounts. Okay. So here, let's go back to 1F, everybody. Let's find out some subordinate clauses. Can you give me one example? Who wants to say? One subordinate clause. In the first paragraph, could you please find subordinate clauses? Delita, would you like to say?
Yes, like I'm not sure it's correct or not. Like he flew high and far across the waters and alighted on the tree while he was wondering what to do next.
No.
The
Wait,
heat-
wait. It is just a sentence. He flew high and far across the water and alighted on the tree is just a sentence. It is not a subordinate clause. Subordinate clause, the sentences are complex and two sentences are joined with relative clause or maybe some conjunctions. For example, I will give you the example here. The Robin who was very confident was sent first. Here, wait, this one. It may be started with relative pronoun like who was very confident. That is a subordinate clause. And I will keep on saying next. While he was wondering what to do next, that he scotched all his feathers black as they are to this day. Okay, look at that sentence. Deleta, could you please tell me another subordinate clause? Clause.
Is it at stay or to this day?
That is also as they are to this day. It is sort of subordinate clause. Another one in this sentence, there are two.
Why he was wondering what to do next?
Yes, that is another subordinate clause. So how about the he scotched all his feathers black? How do we got this? That is called the main one. Okay. So the he scotched all his feathers black is the main clause. It can stand on its own without the help of the others. It is still meaningful that he scotched all his feathers black. To put more information and to make the sentence complex, you put the subordinate clauses like why he was wondering what to do next. So Deleta, why he was wondering what to do next? If I stop there, is it meaningful?
No.
If I don't continue with the he scotched all his feathers black, can it's not meaningful, right? It must depend on the main clause. Main clause is that he scotched all his feathers black. That is the main clause. It must depend on the main clause. And like this, as they are to this day, it starts with conjunction as and subject plus verb, but it is not a complete thought. It must depend on the main clause like the he scotched all his feathers black. Got it? Hello, everybody. Do you understand subordinate clauses?
Yes.
So in this paragraph, I have already shown you the example. Here, it starts with relative pronoun, and yes, verb and sentence is followed, but it is not a complete thought. It is called a clause. Will you please find some more? The first paragraph is finished.
15 မိနစ်နော်အသွားပြန်ပြန်ဒီကိုပြောင်းဝင်ဒါရပါတယ်အိမ်မှာခဏစောင့်လိုက်လေမောကလေးက15 မိနစ်ဆိုသူ့သူ့တော့ပို့ရမှာနော်အေးပြောမဟုတ်လေအမအလော30ကဆိုတော့သူကအလော30မဟုတ်လို့လို့ရင်မိနစ်ဆိုင်မှာပေါ့
Can I check your work? Can I check? Hello. Because we must go quickly. Okay, let's go to the second one. I will ask someone. That's who would you like to give me some more subordinate clauses in the second paragraph?
While he was looking down into the hollow.
Correct. Correct. In that, is that all? Anything else? The other one? Who wants to give me the other subordinate clause in that paragraph? Tashweze, would you like to try in the second paragraph?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. And his arms are red to this day.
Is that the clause? The clause has got conjunction, relative pronouns. It is just a sentence. It is not a clause. Sinanyo, would you like to try in the second paragraph?
And reach the place safely.
No. That is just a sentence. You know? Yeah, two sentences are joined with and, but that is not a complex. It is called compound. The screech owl volunteer to go next and reach the place safely. The two sentences are joined with and. This type of sentence is called a compound sentence. I am talking about the complex one. I am talking about the subordinate clause. Suito, in this paragraph, could you please tell me the other subordinate clause?
Do you mean the third paragraph?
Second,
Is it before he kicks you?
yes, you are right. Yeah, conjunction before he could see well, correct. How about next paragraph?
Because there was still no fire and the world was cold.
You mean this paragraph? Because. Are you talking about this paragraph? That paragraph. No more. It starts with no.
Next paragraph.
Oh, so you mean that in this paragraph there is no subordinate clause?
Okay.
Everybody, do you agree? Who wants to say your opinion? Any other subordinate clause?
In the paragraph, as is still is to this day.
Yes. Yeah, Jambai. Yeah, that is called a subordinate clause. Okay, let's go to next. Next. Vanessa. How about next paragraph? The paragraph is big. Oh, Aljamai has already mentioned one. Because there was still no fire. Vanessa, any other subordinate clause?
Just wait.
Suyati, would you like to try? In this paragraph, subordinate clause.
Because they were all afraid of the burning sycamore,
Yes.
and until at last the waters brightened.
Yes.
Ever
That
since
she would
we
go.
had
had fire.
Ever.
And
No.
ever since we have had fire.
Wait. That is ever since we have had fire is just only compound.
Um,
So they are subordinate clauses. Okay. I would like to support more ideas for subordinate clauses because some students are still confused. Here, when you read the key point and theory, you will understand. So I will let you read. Kevin, read. Remember that.
Remember that sentence which use the cognitive and bad so and or to link simple sentence are called compound sentence, which mean that both parts are equal and could exist on their own. For example, the cat sat on the mat and it went to sleep.
Wait, stop. So here, simple sentence, subject plus verb, right? That is simple sentence. Simple sentence. And you would like to combine the ideas, then you can use, but it is still simple. You use and, but, so, or. Combine two ideas together, and it becomes a compound sentence. But it is not the best one yet. For example, the cat sat on the mat and it went to sleep. Instead of writing the cat sat on the mat, full stop, it went to sleep. So two sentences, and it is not that advanced. Instead, you combine the two ideas with and. So it becomes a compound sentence. Compared to the simple one, it is better, but it is not the best yet. You need to try to go to next step. The farthest next step, complex sentences. How to write complex sentences? Dilatory.
However, it is not the best way to construct sentences because they are monotonous. Is that monotonous? Monotonous and do not convey complex ideas.
Convey means show. Do not show
Convey
complex ideas.
Do not convey complex ideas or the relationship between events. The story in text one. Even the stories in text 1E does not contain many complex sentences, and this is why it's probably seem less interesting to you than the second method.
The second myth. Yeah. Everybody, the gift of fire. The sentences were quite simple and just only compound, not complex. So it's not that interesting, less interesting than 1F. Because in 1F, there are more subordinate clauses, more complex sentences. Okay, this time, Sinamyo, read. You have already learned about.
You have already learned about forming complex sentences in two ways, using if and unless. Example, if he does go, he will not regret it. Using the relative pronouns who and which, and whose and whom. Example, the fire which had seemed under control suddenly became even more furious.
Okay. Thing is that you are supposed to try to write complex sentences to make your writing more advanced. So how to form complex sentences? You can use some conjunctions like if or unless, or relative pronouns like who or which. Okay, there are more conectives. Tashuizin, could you please read the conectives?
You can also use connective to make complex sentences, such as the following: before, after, because, as, since, although, when, whenever, where, wherever, why, until.
To make complex sentences, you need to use these conectives. If you use and, bad, so, or all, these sentences, most sentences are compound sentences that make it more complex. Got it? That's all. So to make complex sentences, you need to use some conjunctions like if, unless, relative pronouns like who, which, whose, whom, and you are given more connectives in the list. Got it? Any question for this? So the main idea is that write complex sentences using connectives, right? In writing, you have to do a lot of writing. So you need to write complex sentences. Okay, next. I will skip these. Leave that, I will skip. Oh, this one. Descriptive writing. Let's read that bullet points and trying to understand the key. Heshwazin, start reading the first one.
Using the
Descriptive
first,
writing.
yes, descriptive writing. Using the first persons and the present tense give, how to pronounce this, teacher?
Authority,
Authority and immediacies to your descriptions, given the impressions that you saw that others or event for your set and it is happening now.
Report writing. Everybody in report writing, and you can put I. It means that you are the witness. The first person. The first person means I or we. Right? And also present tense. To show that you saw the object or event, or, you know, to show that immediacy. It means that it is happening now. So for this bullet point, the keyword is this one, the first person, present tense, right? Okay, second one, Sumin.
Keep a picture of what you are describing in your mind. Be very precise and specific in your choice of vocabulary. Choosing exact color, for instance, put adjective in front of each noun, avoiding the
Vague
avoiding fake
and cliched
and clean word such clinching words such as lovely or horrible, which do not convey a clear picture.
Vague means unclear. V-A-G-U-E, vague, unclear. So when you describe, you would like to describe the event. When you describe the event, you need to use precise. Precise means exact. Exact. Whenever you choose the vocabulary, it must be exact, precise, and the specific. It means that you need to put color so that, you know, it is understandable what color, something like that. You need to avoid using unclear words, unclear adjectives. So in this second bullet point, the thing is, it must be precise, it must be exact. You must use specific adjectives, right? Clear words, so that the reader can visualize the event in the mind vividly. Okay, this time, Sui Tuan, go on reading the third one.
Refer to as many of the 5 senses as you can to create an atmosphere. Description isn't only about what you can see.
You can create an atmosphere at the time, the mood of the people. How about the situation? All right. But description isn't only about what you can see. Not only the description, you can talk about the neighborhood of the place. That is called create an atmosphere. Dileta, go on reading.
Use figurative language, similes, and metaphor to is that convey, right?
No, convey. Convey. Show.
Convey. Okay. Use figurative language, similes, and metaphor to convey the exact picture.
To show the exact picture, you need to use figure of speech, like simile, metaphor. Yeah, you will have to learn more later. And like, for example, her teeth is white. Not very interesting. Her teeth is her teeth are white. Sorry, her teeth are white. Her teeth are as white as pearls. So it is clearer, right? So her teeth are as white as pearls. That way, figurative language. And next. Sinanyu.
Use a variety of sentence structure. Any kind of repetition can form descriptive writing, and that includes the type of sentences you use. It is especially important not to begin every sentence the same way. For example, with it or the fire. Remember that you can use what to describe repeated actions in the past. For example, every so often. The flames were shoot through the branches.
Wait. The main idea for this bullet point. Use a variety of sentence structures. In the previous term, you have already learned different grammar points and different, different ways of constructing the sentences. Yeah, so you must apply that. You need to use different sentence structures. Don't write the simple sentences all the time. It's quite boring. So you need to use different sentence structures. That is for writing technique. Yeah, of course. Whenever you do writing, use different sentence structures. It is also important. So it means that don't begin every sentence the same way. For example, we are talking about fire. In every sentence you start with, you start with it, or the fire. It's not good. It's quite basic. It's not a good way of writing. Instead, you need to start with different sentence. You need to start with different words. All right. You need to construct different sentence patterns. Got it? Do you understand? This point is important for all types of writing. This point is important. Okay, next. Kevin.
Avoid fat and
Statistics.
statistics, as this is creative, not informative writing. Your description can include your thought and feeling to make the reader feel more involved in the experience.
You need to avoid facts and statistics. In descriptive writing, it is a sort of creative writing. So you don't need to describe facts and statistics. Statistics mean numbers. How many, for example, in the news report, you are supposed to put the numbers, statistics, right? For example, like 3,000 people were asked to evacuate to the safe place, for example. But in descriptive writing, your focus is to create things, right? to be creative. So you don't need to describe the statistics. It means you don't need to avoid. Avoid means you don't need to put facts and statistics. The main thing is creative. Not you are not giving the information. All right. So no facts and statistics. Avoid. And this time, Vanessa, go on. Provide
Provide a framework for your discussion. This may make a form of
chronological structure.
a chronological structure. Examine the duration of the
The
fire.
duration of the fire.
The duration of the fire, showing how it changed within a short time span or spectacle.
As particular a spatial structure for that is
Or a special structure
structure. That is how what
that
you
is
see,
how what you see, hear, etc. develop as the
the
thing
thing
you
you are
are
describing moves
describing move toward or
towards.
away from you, or as you move nearly or
nearer to
nearer.
or farther away from it.
Nearer to or farther away from it, the temperature and noise would increase in more detail and would become visible
As
as
you approached a fire.
approach.
It means like it may be the chronological structure. Chronological structure means the events can be described in order sometimes. In the sense, how you feel, how you see, what you see, what you hear. It's not that. Yeah, that's all. Here, according to the theory, you may take the form of a chronological structure, but I want you to use the flashback using hat plus verb 3. It is more interesting. Although the theory says you may use the chronological structure. First action finished the second finished third. It is quite simple and not very interesting. Instead, when you present an event, you could use you could use the flashback, not in the chronological order. Right? I will focus on the last one. Okay. Unit 1 is finished. All I need to teach you is figures of speech. I will go detail. So for text, it is finished. Now I will go to unit 2. Games and sports. I will start. Games and sports. Now I will skip number 1 and I will go directly to text 2A. The Asian game of backgammon. Everybody, to be able to understand the test, I want you to read this test in advance. Read the test in advance. Yeah, I will do the exercise together, just trying to understand the test and the keywords, how to use the keywords and the bold, trying to understand the bold words and the new words in the test. Okay. And for the exercise, I will discuss it with you in the class. And next thing, the key points I will do together. And this one, 2B. 2A, 2B. Read ahead. For the grammar points and some interesting questions will be discussed in the class. All you need to do is try to understand the text in advance, right? Look up the new words in dictionary so that you can understand more. So I have given you 2 tasks. One is text 2A and text 2B. Okay, I will stop here. Any question you can ask me? You can ask me your confusing points.
No, teacher, I just wanted to tell something. Like
Mm.
maybe I have to admit, like English can be a tricky as trying to find a specific sock in the laundry pile, because like it's a language where read and read are not don't write them, even though they have the same spelling.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
is
cheers
tricky.
to everyone for finishing another route week in learning literature.
Yes, you are right. Absolutely correct. Okay, I will stop here. Bye bye. See you.
Bye bye, teacher.
Bye,
Thank
Claire.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
bye
you.
bye. Yes,
Thank you.
do homework. Yeah.